Jason Caddy. I'm so glad that you've joined me here on this episode number 7. Number 7 of the Pastor's Notebook, where we learn, where we grow, and where we go forward together in ministry and life. If you are a returning listener, once again, I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new to this, then I'm glad you're here as well. These are exciting days, and we're having a great time. I'm having a great time just kind of reliving some things, learning some things, growing in some ways, all of that kind of stuff. So once again, if you're new, glad you're here. If you're returning, I'm glad you're back. And you can get the latest episode of the Pastor's Notebook every single Tuesday. That's the goal. That's the plan. We're doing it every Tuesday. And I would love for you to subscribe, to share, to rate, to review, to make sure that we get this thing out, right? Because one of the things that we're trying to do, at least I'm trying to do, is make sure that we get this in the hands and in the minds and in the hearts of people all across, not just Tennessee, not just the Southeast, not just, you know, wherever I'm at, but literally whoever it can help, because the goal is to learn, grow, and go forward together in ministry and life. Well, like I said, this is episode number 7, and I've been trying to remember some things as I look back over the last 25, 30 years of ministry. And one of the things that has really come to mind, in fact, I'm getting ready to put together a workshop for my tribe that's coming up in February, so I got to work on some things there. And it just began to remind me of Pizza Hut. Now you're thinking, what in the world are you talking about, Pizza Hut? Well, here's the deal. I spent about 7 to 10 years in youth ministry, and I loved youth ministry. Honestly, I felt like I would never ever leave that sector, that section, that goal path, whatever you want to call it, of ministry, because I love teenagers and I love what was going on. But there was a moment where I felt like God had called us and was moving us, and we went to a whole different state, a whole different area of the United States, and was having a good time. I inherited a part-time worship pastor. The church had wanted to bring on a youth pastor, so we brought them on full-time. And one of the things that we were trying to do was trying to figure out how to grab some time together so that we could truly plan out where the church was going, what the church needed to be doing, all of those kinds of fun things. And so we decided that every single Tuesday that what we would do is we would meet for lunch. We would meet for lunch at Pizza Hut, of all places. Now, the reason we chose Pizza Hut is because it had a buffet, right? You can get whatever you wanted. I don't even know if they do that anymore. I'm not sure too many Pizza Huts exist anymore, whatever. And if you don't know about the Hut, then you've missed out. But it had, salad. It had all the pizza you could want. It had dessert pizza. It was a great, great deal. And we met there for about, I'd say about 4 years, and had a great time. But the reason I'm thinking about it, right, wasn't just because of the pizza. It's not just because of the pastors that I was working with and trying to lead and trying to help and trying to cast vision, all that stuff. It was greater than that, because what happened was what I didn't expect to happen. And as we went in and as we began to eat pizza every single Tuesday at the same time, same locations, with the same people, we started walking in, and they'd go, "Hey, how you doing?" The waitresses rather, the people behind the counter, the people that would wait on us, they would have our favorite pizza. They would start putting the pizzas out. They would say, "Hey, we got this ready for you. We know you like this. We know you like that." And we started becoming friends. We started having this kind of relationship where we could connect and laugh and play and all that kind of stuff. So we would go there every single Tuesday. Well, the next thing I know, one of the things that we were doing, it was kind of popular back in the day, was to have a friend day at our church. And we were kind of new to the church. This was in the first year that we were there, maybe the first year and a half. And so Tina and I are trying to figure out who we're going to invite. Our kids were really small. The oldest back then was about 3, maybe 4. And so we didn't know a whole lot of people. We weren't from that area of the nation. And so I told Tina, I said, I think we need to invite this waitress that waits on us every single week. And I would love for you to come with me. And so we had gone in on Tuesday for staff meeting, but Tina and I, my wife, decided that what we would do is we'd go in on like Thursday. And we said, "Hey, listen." And I introduced my wife to this waitress that was kind of connecting with us and talking with us. and sharing life. She would share about how she was pregnant and she was going to be a single mom, all that kind of stuff. And so I just looked at her and said, "Hey, would you be willing? Our church is getting ready to have this thing called Friend Day. We don't have any friends, but you're the closest thing we got." That may not sound great, but that's what I said. You're the closest thing we got. We would love for you to be our friend at our church on Friend Day. And I have to admit, I was a little nervous. I was so used to youth ministry. I was so used to all the things that were going on and how teenagers would just bring friends and I didn't have to do a whole lot because they would always introduce me to their friends. I wasn't sure how this was going to work out. But as soon as the words came out of my mouth, she said, "Well, what time is it?" I said, "Well, it's this time on this date, on this Sunday." And she said, "I think I can do that. I would love to do that." Now, in my mind, I'm going, "No way," but I kind of responded going, "Hey, that's great." Tina and I looked at each other. We gave her our phone number. We said, "We'll meet you. We'll, whatever." And so sure enough, she came. And then on top of that, what we started doing is Tina and I would go. We didn't go every week, but we would go every so often and just kind of connect with her. I'd tell her what that Tina said hello on Tuesdays when we had staff meeting. I would tell Tina what she said whenever we got back from staff meeting, all that stuff. The next thing we know, not only are we inviting her to church, but she is saying, "Hey, I'm getting ready to have my baby, and this is when I'm having it because it was planned." And so Tina and I showed up at the hospital, and we were there, and we got to hold and pray over that baby. And then later, she said, "Is there any possibility that you can baptize this baby?" I said, "We can do that." And then 2 more years went by. And we just developed this relationship, right? We actually had her in our home, and we had her, eating supper with us as we connected with her and her child. And then she invited us to her child's first birthday. It was the craziest thing because we went there. We were the only people that weren't family or very, very close friends. Now, some of you are going, "Why in the world are you talking about this?" Because one of the goals of the church, one of the goals of the Christian life is not just for us to make it to heaven, but so that others might know who Jesus is and experience the transformational love of Jesus. Life, right? Everybody that you know needs encouragement. If you want to know who needs encouragement, check and see if they're breathing. Because if they're breathing, everybody needs encouragement. Everybody needs some hope. Everybody needs some life. And one of the things that I've noticed about way too many pastors is that what we do is we enjoy being in our office. There's something about studying the Word. There's something about studying for Sunday because Sunday's always coming. There's something about kind of making plans and putting together strategies and talking about mission and vision and core values. But I'm telling you, one of the best things, one of the best things you can do is not just plan, but participate, right? One of the best things you can do is not just plan out how to do life, how to help other people become the disciple that they need to be. But one of the best things you can do, in fact, it may be the most transformational thing you can do for your own church or for your own family, is to literally participate in helping others to know who Jesus is and who Jesus wants to be in their life. It was one of those things that we were part of her life there. She was a waitress at Pizza Hut. She eventually moved on. We didn't see her anymore. We lost contact with her over the years because there was no social media or anything like that. But it was the thing that we noticed that even when our kids were little and we were involved in sports, and it was the thing that we noticed as our kids got older and when they continued to be involved in sports and we continued to be involved in the community. I would show up and I got to know the principal of the school and he would say, "Hey, listen, I need your help with this or help with that." And we were able to just be involved and connect with people. It's that thing. And now that I'm a little older, our kids are grown. We're empty nesters. We don't have anybody around. And so what we've done is we're still trying to find ways to not just plan, not just tell people about mission, vision, core values, strategies, all that stuff, but participate. And so for me, one of the ways that I do that is I continue to get involved in the community by officiating. I officiate football and basketball and now volleyball. I've stayed away from baseball because the last kid that we had at home played baseball until last year. And after a while, my wife's like, hey, we need to take some breaks, right? And I need to spend some time with her, and I want to spend time with her. But it's one of those things that for at least the fall, it's a hobby. My hobby pays me rather than me having to pay. But on top of that, it allows me to participate in the lives of people in our community. Hey, Pastor. Hey, hey, whoever's listening, if you are here, let me encourage you today. Don't just make plans to encourage people. Don't just make plans and talk about whether you can do this or you could do that, right? Find ways. Invite people over to your home. Go out to the same place. One of my favorite pastors of all time. He was a general superintendent in my tribe, and he was one of those guys that literally just inspired me as he preached. But he wasn't just his preaching, it's the way that he lived his life. Is that literally what he would do is he would also go to the post office every single week, which sounds kind of wild, right? I mean, you're thinking, what does the post office have to do with anything? He went there and he got to know the people at the post office. And he started talking to them and he would pray with them and he would invite them to church. He wasn't just planning to make a difference. He was participating in the work of God in his community through his life. And so today, let me just encourage you. If you are a pastor, find your avenue, find your way, make some plans, but also make sure that you participate by getting involved in people's lives who don't go to church. They're not in church. They're not in a place in life or not where they thought they'd be in life, or they're experiencing something that they really aren't prepared for, right? Get involved because that's where transformation happens. If you're someone who goes to church, you're not a pastor, then here's what I would do. Make sure that you know your neighbors' names. Make sure get to know the people at the grocery store or whatever. We got a guy at Kroger, and I love this guy. It's the grocery store that we go to quite often. We go to several of them, but we go to this one, and we are talking to him. He recognizes us whenever we walk in, and when we walk, we make sure to go to his lane because we want to talk to him. I've said, hey, you need to come to church. In fact, he's so friendly. I said, I need you to come to church and help you know how to welcome people or help others to know how to welcome people because you do such a great job. Make sure that you don't just plan to participate in God's plan, but make sure you participate in it. Get involved. Go to Pizza Hut every single week at the same time, same location, and get to know the people that work there because they're people. And if they're people, then they need encouragement. Then they need hope. Then they need peace. And they need to know that they're loved and that they're valued, that they're seen, that they're known. All right? So here, once again, we could call this episode Eating at Pizza Hut, or you can call it Don't Plan, Make Sure to Participate. Whichever way you want to call it, I'm good with that. But this is episode number 7 of the Pastor's Notebook. I hope that this episode has given some kind of perspective on pastor's life, but also the way that you can live out life each and every day that allows you to participate in the kingdom of God, that allows you to participate in the grace that God has given you so you turn around and give it to someone else. I'm hoping and I'm praying that this causes you and I to grow and to maybe give some steps forward. And so remember, don't just plan, participate. Also know that every single Tuesday you can get the next episode this coming Tuesday in the morning. We'll have it ready for you, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on YouTube, it'll be there. And I would appreciate, I would just want you to know. Make sure to subscribe and share and rate and review this thing. Get it out. Let somebody else know about it because what I want us to do is learn, grow, and go forward together in ministry and in life. All right, so make sure you do that. Play this, share this, get ready for next week to listen to this, all right? So, hey, my name is Jason Caddy. This is the Pastor's Notebook. I'm just glad to be a part of it all. And never, ever forget, you, my friend, you are loved.